Hello? Am I live? Am I live?
Before we were using Monday.com, our team was rounding.
Ooh.
Our days used to split between work and management.
Am I live? Skip ads. Yeah, I'm live. Look at me. Man, I am so proud of myself right now. Can you hear me? There's nobody here. Nobody can hear me because nobody's here. And this is with me scheduling it. Well, I guess I'm not popular anymore. I'm not the popular chick. Who's here? It says 3 are watching. Are the 3 people me? Because I've got 3 windows? I'm watching myself in 3 windows. Okay. Hello. Who's here? Show yourselves. Show yourselves. Hi. You can hear me good? Greetings from England. Jess Davis. Hi, honey. How are you? George Pierce. Yeah, you can hear me. I got a software. I just don't know why I'm on 3 screens. How do I minimize the 3 screens? I'm afraid to close it and then I might as well leave it. Let me leave it. I don't want disasters. Actually, I'm on 4 screens. I'm on 4 screens. So you'll be very proud to know that I kicked my own butt and I went into the settings and I sat down. I think it was the hi TZ, Kyle. Hi guys. Yeah, I went into the settings. Was it yesterday or the day before? And I figured it all out, and super chats are now active. I also downloaded a software to try it out, which is this software, live streaming software, and we'll see if it goes well. I'll install it. But hello, who? Mars Wixton, something. We see you. Thank you. Thank you. Haken, Angman, how's it going? It's going. It's going. I just wanted to do a little test to the new software and to see if monetization is finally on, because I do see some ads as well. And I wanted to chit chat and see how everyone's doing. Are you in the Christmas spirit or not? Or what's going on? And I also wanted to update because I disappeared off of this channel and I pretty much, oops, my activism, like I don't even know if it's activism, but I guess me sounding the alarm and the videos that I was putting out on this channel, they've kind of I had to tone it down, and there's been a lot that happened during the past 2.5 to 3 years that I didn't really necessarily come on here and update people about. So every now and not going to black pill. No, I woke up. You have to understand what happened, and this is why I try to come on here now. I gained what is known as consciousness during I guess, was it the lockdowns? I think it was during the second round of lockdowns that we went through. I I gained consciousness. I call it spiritually woke up. But whenever I say that, people look at me like they're like, whatever. They don't know what that means. Greetings from Sweden. Yes, hit the thumbs up, guys. I'd like to do more regular live streams. I would like to make this more of going into the new year. I'd like to make it more of a regular thing. And I'd like to keep it more on the positive, upbeat scale, because the amount of negativity that is going on right now is crazy. It's kind of ridiculous, really. So I don't know which window to keep. I'll keep both. I'll keep both. But the amount of negativity going on right now, especially on social media, is exhausting. It's exhausting and it's boring. Uh, yes. Greetings from Sweden. How is Sweden? How's it going over there? But if we can, plant a little hope, I guess. Yeah, that would be nice. And positive live streams, not just positive to, pretend like the world is okay. Like, I'm quite aware of what's going on, but we need to detach ourselves from everything. I saw something on Twitter today. The gloom and doom is getting ridiculous. Like, I try to even follow. Hello from who? Who's in Halifax? Shalom? Richard Meyer! Nice to see you again, Richard. Somebody here signed up in my Patreon. I forget who. Lance. Is Lance Johnson here? Sorry, I've got a tickle in my throat. Where's Lance Johnson? He's worth. I owe him a shout out. He signed up to my Patreon, and I want to say thank you. I appreciate all the support that I am. Yeah. Hi, Biker Bob, 59. Cheers, Western Canada. How's Western Canada doing? But I was just here to update you. I don't know if you guys missed it. I have a new streaming software that I'm testing out today, so let me know how it goes. Very dark this time of year. Yeah, new live streaming software. Monetization is back on. I want to do this on a more regular basis, and I also have my oracles and my tarot. My tarot stuff is here. Anybody who wants a reading, let me know. Uh, so yeah, the amount of negativity that's going on around right now is a little bit. It's almost like people don't know how to get out. I feel of the negativity, which is I think where I was when all of this started, and when I began my activism, and when I began to see what was going on, But somebody on Twitter today is like, um, "What are we gonna do if Trudeau wins in 2025?" I'm like, "Wow, talk about what what does it have to do with you, even if he does win?" Like, I feel like I have to remind people that people like myself, and I'm not being a snob, and I mean, considering who I was before I gained the consciousness that I gained and that I continue to gain and work on advancing and my knowledge and wisdom and all of that, uh, you can't. People are stuck in negativity, but you have to realize that those like myself were in very harsh parts of the world all our lives, and we were brutalized. Like, if you listen to some of the stories of the women who escaped between Iran or Saudi Arabia, you won't, like, a lot of the people keep telling me, like, we listen to your story and it's like we can't really relate. um, and and that's fine, but if we could get out, if we could create our own, realities and gain our own freedoms. Sorry, I've got some music playing on in the background just to soften the mood. um, so let me know if it bothers you. I can turn it off. If we can do this, then you should definitely be able to do this. We had much less resources. Our resources were a lot more limited than what you guys have here in the West. And yet, so many of us have been capable of leaving. Leaving. I mean, I escaped a part of the world that doesn't even allow women to leave the country on their own. So, yeah, it's basically, they call it the golden prison for women. So why could I do this? And people keep fascinated, keep getting fascinated. How did you do it? How did you do it? Well, you know, we focused, and we knew what we deserved. I knew I deserved freedom all my life. So to see somebody on Twitter, oh, what are we gonna do if Trudeau wins in 2025? What do you have to do if he wins or not? Yeah, it's gonna suck. Who gives a crap? There's people around the world who don't even get a chance to vote. Do you know how dictatorships are run? So it's very interesting for me. And the more I see stuff like this, and uh, the more I see how, you know, the people are attaching their own lives to the political scene, I guess I find it fascinating because it never really crossed my mind growing up in Saudi Arabia if I'd ever be able to create my own life. In many ways, I created my own life many years before I left. I knew what my life was going to be, and I can't tell you that I didn't achieve it. I have. We're passing through some very fascinating times that I did not foresee. But this is very interesting to see. This mindset is very interesting to see. I never felt limited, even though the society and the system that I was in uh, limited me. But I wanted always more, and I knew that I deserved more. Viva Fry fled Canada to the US recently. That's fine. If you can do that, good for you. If I could leave, trust me, I would. I wouldn't stay here. But there's a reason I'm here. There's a reason I'm here. I've literally been stuck here for 3 years. All the like the reason I created this channel, and although there's a little bit of a pivot. Yeah. I don't know what Raymond. I don't know what you're trying to say, Raymond. Yes, I created my own reality. I did create my own reality, and this is what I'm trying to say to people right now. When you gain consciousness, even though I was not, you have to understand I wasn't even able to leave Saudi Arabia. The day I left Saudi Arabia, the SARS pandemic had hit, and the measures, all the quarantine stuff, and all that was going on. My father came down and told me that I can't leave. This was the day as I was getting ready to get in the car and go to the airport. And I was personally sick as well. I had about a temperature of 42 degrees. So there was a lot standing in my way. Nobody really came from here to help me over there. It was all my doing, honey. So you can question, that's fine. But let's not try to minimize what the point that I'm trying to get here is. You create your own reality. This is a fact. If you want to focus on the political sphere and Trudeau winning and you're going to be miserable, that is exactly what you will get. That is exactly what you will get. I also was facing another 2 years in jail and 80 lashes in public. That was also something I was facing, and no Canadian came over there to help that to stop. That's answering your question, Raymond. We create our own reality. Your focus becomes your reality, which is why it's not even brave, Jess Davis. It's not even about bravery, honey. It's about what you put your energy into. When you wake up, which I realize is happening to a lot of people right now, it started with the pandemic and the mandates, but I see it still ongoing and spreading. It's gonna reach a point where it will hit sort of like consciousness is going to reach like a critical mass, I guess, where the people are just going to start waking up in droves. But what I'm trying to get at is that I began dreaming and and journaling and creating my own reality vibrationally within me. And I stopped focusing. I never really focused on the outside. I never really focused on the outside, not until I came to Canada. I don't know why I did, but I did. And now I'm going back to the way I was when I was a little girl in Saudi Arabia. Journal, journal with detail, the kind of life that you want, and you can laugh at it. But this is how this world that we live in works. We're just never told it, we're never taught it. If you watch Yasmin Mohammed with Forgotten Feminists, you will see that quite a bit of us have something in common. And that something is we documented and journaled and dreamt. And we not only dreamt, but we acted out our dreams. Many years before I came to Canada, I would play it out because I'd be locked in my room, in my home. I would actually play it out in front of the mirror in my room, scenarios, different scenarios. I'm not going to tell you that the entire scenarios came to fruition, but I focused that became my reality. And if you understand spirituality and how the laws of the universe works, you understand that you create your reality vibrationally first through vibration. You raise your vibration. You don't focus on the garbage shit show that's happening outside of you in the real world, as difficult as it may be, because it's right there in front of you, and it's a shock, yes, but you create your own reality, and you focus on that. Dream of that every day. Play it out every day. Talk with your friends and family every day about the things that you want, about the amazing life and the amazing house and the amazing car that you're going to get. Don't sit there and talk about Trudeau. Twitter is all about Trudeau. I'm like, Twitter keeps Trudeau alive. If I didn't log into Twitter every day, I wouldn't even know that the man existed, to be honest. Which I probably should stop doing. I probably should. Richard Marr, I may be going to Cuba in the new year for 3 years of work. This will be my last years of work, and then I will retire. Good for you. Enjoy Cuba. Well, if you can. Well, as an expat, you'll probably get treated a little bit different than the locals. Most dictatorships behave this way. They treat people from different parts of the world much better than they treat their own. Yeah, I'd come. I'd come see you. I'm due to travel. It's a matter of time for me. It's a matter of time before I unlock what I've blocked. Something I have blocked, I believe, and I'm slowly getting there. I'm slowly getting there. But there's a reason when you wake up spiritually, you enter, I guess, to quote one of the spiritual guys that I follow, his name is Phil Good. You get placed in a sort of a boot camp by the universe, and it's not really a boot camp, but it feels like a boot camp. But one of the like my biggest fears, you don't have Twitter. Good for you. Good for you. That don't even bother. I've deleted it from my phone completely because sometimes I find myself I get bored, and I just start pressing stuff, and then you get sucked into the negativity of Twitter. Twitter is one of the actually worst platforms that I've ever seen in my entire life for social media. I truly, like, it's actually worse than Facebook, I think. But yeah, the universe puts you in a little bit of a boot camp, and you start getting test after test after test until because the tests are actually clearing a lot of your traumas. The thing that fascinated me during the lockdowns and the mandates was there. Yes, they do. All dictatorships treat expats better than the locals. Every dictatorship, it doesn't matter where you go, depending on your color of skin. Yeah, depending on your skin color and the part of the world you're from. Westerners, North Americans, Europeans tend to get treated really well. People, there's an interesting documentary, if you want to look it up, called the Slaves of Dubai. Because here, white people, like the West in general, loves Dubai and they love to brag about going to Dubai. But if you understand how Dubai actually functions and works, you wouldn't go there. But Slaves of Dubai explains how the majority of the Middle East functions. They're very, very racist. Very racist. The more light skinned you are, and the more, the better, from, if you're from North America or Europe, the better you're treated, the higher you're paid. If you're from the Philippines, Bangladesh, if you're dark skinned or black, you get treated fairly poorly. So, yeah, yeah. Yeah, my Twitter account, I can't get it back, even though it's with under Elon Musk right now. I did try to get my One Godless Woman account back. They told me that my account broke Twitter's whatever something something rules, and that they have determined that my account was solely created to target ethnic minorities. This is under Musk. I guess Islam is a ethnicity now. We've moved on from a religion to an ethnicity. So, that's where we're at. And I could sit down and get upset and cry and shed tears of sadness. But like I was saying, your focus is your reality. Your focus is your reality. So, what I was trying to get at is that during the lockdowns, during the mandates, and all of that, one of the things that ended up happening, how many people are here, by the way? I don't even know. How would I know the count? One of my biggest fears, it was the mask mandates that did all this to me. That shook me and sort of cracked my ego and allowed me to start communicating with the universe and gain consciousness. It was the mask mandates. But when I say mask mandates, people don't understand what it is I mean. I had a fear of being harassed because that was my entire existence in Saudi Arabia. 20? Okay, guys, thanks. I had a massive, I don't know what you want to call it, phobia, which is why it's actually till this day when I see people like that doctor in Ottawa who's trying to mask, she's crazy. She's trying to mask kids in a school board. When I see the term anti-masker, it really bothers me, and I'm still trying to get over that. Because it's the same. It's the same as, it's the same tactics that were used on me throughout my life in Saudi Arabia to cover up, to cover my hair. The shaming, the bullying, the threatening, and the calling you names, labeling you. So I had this fear of being chased by people to cover my face. This was a real fear for me, and it was a fear. It was the last thing that happened to me in Saudi Arabia before I escaped to Canada, before I came here, was being jailed for not covering my face and being sentenced to 80 lashes. And I'm sorry, I know that this we're supposed to be a positive stream, but I'm just trying to explain a little bit about the boot camp thing with the universe. I'm not actually trying to be negative. Um, so I just locked myself in my place, and I would rarely go out. And suddenly I started seeing there were about 4 signs between me and every exit in this place from the managers of the building to cover your face. 4 signs. And that's when it began for me. I started to tremble. I couldn't go out anymore. Anytime I would see the sign, I would get triggered. And then the encounters began with people. And you have to remember, I uh, I had a medical exemption. The super of the building chased me down the stairs. And he's a man, and I'm a woman, and I was kidnapped by 4 men. Anyway, it triggered me so much, So much. Like, I can't, I relived it all. The hatred, the people that would bully me in public, the men that would chase me in public. It was all men. The clients that would report me, like, I'm a massage therapist. I would have people call me and book me to come to their home. And when I tell them that I have a mask exemption, they would tell me there's no such thing as a mask exemption. And they would report me to the local health authority. All of this happened to me. And I had nobody. I had no support. And I just started reliving my kidnapping. I started reliving my imprisonment. I didn't know what was going on. And I ended up gaining consciousness and the universe began communicating with me. So at that point, I had to isolate myself, and that's when I disappeared off my channel. Um, to those of because I keep seeing you should sue the building. No, it's fine. It's fine. You know, I'll tell you something. I, as awful and as ugly and as horrific as what I went through was, I, if I had not gone through it, yes, this was in Canada. This was in Canada. In the East Coast where I live, you have to understand the East Coast is pretty bad, pretty brainwashed. But had none of this happened to me, I would not be at the consciousness level that I have reached. And I wouldn't, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn. I take my spirituality fairly seriously. I really do. And I think that this happened for a reason, because everything happens for a reason. Well, Canada went crazy. Canada, for the most part, is still crazy. Canada's still crazy. And the support that I did have through I guess, my team and the YouTube, the people that were helping me with my One Godless Woman, it dwindled. It was almost, they couldn't see what was happening to me. And whenever I remember I came in one day trembling after being chased outside by a man to cover my face. I came back and like my hand was like shaking like this. So I took a video. I couldn't believe how much shaking was going through me. I took a video and I sent it to the main person, like my support person through my One Godless Woman channel. And he mocked me. He mocked me. So I didn't really get any support. I didn't. I had to fall back on my own self. And it was hard. It really was hard. So I'm saying this story. I'm not trying to be a downer or bring anybody down. I don't think I ever explained what happened over the past 2.5 years on this channel. And every now and then I see comments of people who are really angry, and people are like unsubscribing in droves. And that's fine. That's fine. You have to understand the only constant in this life is change. I wasn't always going to be the same person. I'm not the same person that started this channel. I'm just not. And I can't go back. I'm sorry. I can only move forward. Yeah. So, yeah. The new premier of Alberta actually came out and apologized to the unvaxxed. Not here. Not where I'm at. I believe that. Do you guys like my. Where is it? Do you see it? Do you like my. That is a rose quartz lamp. It's not a salt lamp, it's a rose quartz lamp. It helps with heart healing. Isn't that pretty? I love it. I love it, love it, love it. It helps with heart healing. It helps with anger and resentment and all that kind of stuff. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I have. I've changed. I've changed a lot, and those who knew me before, because I was so angry before. So angry. and they don't appreciate the change that they see in me now. Unfortunately, I don't know why. Maybe they just don't see it. Maybe they wanted me to remain the same person that I was. Um, yeah, yeah. So, so yeah. And I went on and I created a spiritual channel because that was my outlet. I can't really come on here and talk about spirituality. Um, so I created my spiritual channel, and I'm building that. And at the same time, I wasn't really gonna come back to my One Godless Woman because I didn't really know what to come back and do. But I've decided to come back now that I've fixed all the monetization, and I think I can see the money for the super chat. Yeah, and I hopefully will get software. I can come on here and do lives and chit chat because again, consciousness, you gain it, and it's not you just gain it and that's the end, and you're good and you're suddenly wise. It's a continuous process. I came to the East Coast because I interviewed at the Ottawa hospital when I came to Canada, and I interviewed at the hospital in Nova Scotia, and I was accepted in both. And both hospitals began to fight for me. It was actually quite the scenario. It was funny, but I chose Nova Scotia because I went to Ottawa and I found the people in Ottawa to be very cold and cruel and not nice, not pleasant human beings. Just kind of nasty. Here on in the East Coast, they hide it. They hide the nastiness, and you have to understand. I was fresh from Saudi Arabia, and I didn't really want to encounter nastiness. So the fakeness of the East Coast got me. I fell for it, if you may. So that's why I ended up on the East Coast. But now I'm kind of stuck. I'm stuck, and I believe this is part of the boot camp that the universe puts us in. The same way I was stuck in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, I'm stuck here, and I've started creating my own reality, my own vibrational reality. Now, it's not easy, it's difficult. Manifest. Oh, TZ Burton, we missed you, and happy you are back. It works! It works! Super chat works! Thank you for trying it out, TZ Burton. I love you. Mwah. You just made me happy because I wasn't sure if it was working. Thank you, my dear. Thank you. I really appreciate you, TZ Burton. Thank you. You just made me so happy. Oh, I'm so happy. See, I am smart and I can go in and figure out YouTube settings. Who knew? I don't need anybody. See? This is water. It's just water for anyone who's going to start asking questions. Thank you, TZ Burton. Thank you, sweetie. Okay, what was I saying? Yeah, so I believe this boot camp that I'm in with the universe. Now, issues and traumas continue to come up for me, just like they're coming up. Uh, who's this Arabian princess? Hello. Hello, hello. Um, I believe I need to complete healing. Thank you, honey. Thank you. You're welcome. I need to complete healing my traumas. I do. There's still a lot more. I'm a lot more calm. A lot less triggers me. I don't come on here and scream anymore. And I'm sorry if this is appearing negative. I'm not being negative. I owe you an explanation because I respect you and I love you and you helped me a lot. I This channel is for you. So I finally decided to come on here and give you a decent explanation of what happened over the past 2.5 to 3 years and why I disappeared. Because I can sense some people are disappointed, Some people even leave the nasty comments here and there, and that's fine. But at least now you know my side of the story and what happened. I relived some of the most horrific, darkest traumas that I was subjected to as a as a child, as a young woman, as a teenager, a growing adult in Saudi Arabia, that I escaped Saudi Arabia to Canada for. I relived them all during the lockdowns and during COVID. Now, I don't judge people who wear masks. I don't. I understand that this is a fascinating time in human history that will be referred to many, many years down the road when prime ministers 50 to 100 years from now stand up and cry, just like ours stands up and cries and apologizes for things that we had nothing to do with. Many prime ministers down the road will stand up and cry and apologize for what has been done to the people that existed in this time period throughout the world, not just in Canada. The same way, you have to understand that even though we are progressing as a human race, this is another spiritual person that I follow. I follow Teal Swan. I don't know if you guys know who Teal Swan is, but she's a lovely lady, and she was sexually abused and when she was young, and she spiritually sort of woke up at an early age. She said that you have to understand that at some point in human history, torture chambers existed and were seen as normal by the public. Dungeons and all that. When you go to the museum, the Louvre, or the Wax Museum in England, and you see all these torture things, and these things existed and they were normal. Normal for the royalty that was there, normal for the people or the peasants that were there. Eventually they went away. Then came things like the Holocaust, the 30s, the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s, and what happened. And that was also seen as normal, at least for some parts of the world, if not all. And that went away, and now we condemn it. And now we live in a time period where segregating humans based on vaccine status and forcing people to wear masks is normal. And it's okay and accepted by the majority of society. But as we move on and get past this, many, many years down the road, this will be seen as an atrocity. No different than the Holocaust, no different than torture chambers, no different than any genocide that happened in history. We have entered a stage where we will only gain momentum in consciousness. And consciousness is associated with divine love. Divine love that is not judgmental, doesn't come from a place of judgment. Which is why, again, I keep saying, people like me, I need a lot of healing. The world is driving me crazy. Stick with me, honey. Stay on this channel. Are you subscribed? Stay on this channel. I'm going to try to do live streams twice a week if you guys want. If you don't want, I won't. It's really up to you. If there is a demand, if you enjoy these talks, because I do enjoy you. Like, I don't really go out, but like I said, I don't really judge people anymore. I'm still trying to clear a lot of my traumas. You have to understand the traumas tend to be really deep-seated, not just in me and many others, but I'm at least aware of them now. I don't really go out, so I enjoy coming on here and chit-chatting with you. You're kind of my little outlet. So I'm very thankful and grateful for you. I am. And I'm very thankful and grateful for this channel. Even though I have changed and I won't be discussing politics as I used to, I remain grateful and thankful for your presence here with me, and for you coming on here and listening, and for the donations, and for the people that sign up to my Patreon, and for the people that engage, and all of that. I'm very thankful. What's not to like watching a smart, fine-looking woman with an interesting life story? Thank you, Jess Davis. Thank you, honey. So, yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If I don't see it, I know this sounds bad, but like donate, I'll be able to see the big thing. If you have a question that you really, really want me to respond to or whatever. But that's the way I'd like to go move forward on this channel is doing lives that are we can address some topics here and there if you guys want. We can address political topics too, although I don't want to engage in the gloom and doom. But we can talk about life, we can talk about consciousness, we can talk about universe. If anyone here is going through an awakening themselves, let me know. And I can also discuss with you the awakening process and how it began with me because there were physical signs. It wasn't just like mental and emotional stuff that I went through. I like I there was an entire process. It's called the spontaneous Kundalini awakening. If you want to look it up. But I think I mentioned this before. Another person who underwent spontaneous Kundalini awakening was Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle. So you might want to go look up Eckhart Tolle or read one of his books because a lot of people during the 2 years of the COVID lockdowns started uh, reading Eckhart Tolle's books. I follow him on YouTube. I enjoy him deeply, deeply enjoy this man. I also follow, what's her name? Esther Hicks. Abraham. She channels Abraham Hicks. Abraham, an entity called Abraham. She was also from the school of Dr. Wayne Dwyer, I think his name here. Make sure you vote and take a friend to the polls. That is the only thing we can do. It is the only thing you can do, and I I don't want to go too spiritual here because this isn't my spiritual channel. But you have to understand when you start working on yourself, when you start healing your own traumas and focus on yourself, you begin to see this reflect around you. Because, and I know a lot of people don't understand how the universe works. And I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to uh, make you seem less intelligent or whatever, or less knowledgeable. But this entire world that we are in, people mirror you, your traumas, your issues back to you. That's how this universe works. If Trudeau aggravates you to no return, you have to sit down and understand that there is something inside of you that Trudeau is reflecting back to you. You have to reach a point where you look at Trudeau and you feel nothing. You might actually, the best thing to feel is compassion. Compassion towards him and all like him. I used to hate him, like, I can't even tell you how much I detested that man. Now, I see him. I see him as a poor, poor man. He's in a very bad place. He's stuck. His shadow is huge, and he can't go around it. And I truly feel bad for him. Truly feel bad for him. There are times, even as smug as he is, like during the Emergencies Act, I can still see. You can begin to see. You can begin to see the trauma behind the person, I guess, or behind the face. When somebody triggers you, when you see someone or something you don't like, they are reflecting something back to you that is inside of you, that is knocking at your door, asking you to pay attention to me, heal me, so I can leave. That's how this universe works. So, yeah. Yeah. Which is why I no longer yell and scream at people. Although, no, I shouldn't say that. I get angry. I really get angry when I'm treated poorly by somebody. When somebody really trespasses on me or treats me like absolute filth, it upsets me and it shouldn't. I should just walk away. And I think that's what I'm going to start doing. I'll just walk away. Don't engage. It's a waste of energy. Why would you surrender your energy so easily to this garbage, to this rubbish, to this illusion that we live in, that is this world? Keep your energy, savor it. You need it. You need it to build your own reality, right? Yes, he is. He's done. He's done. Even the people that think he's going to get reelected in 2025, I'm in a part of the country that loves him. Like, if you look at the political map or whatever, the map of like the voting, or I don't even know what they call it, this map. The area I'm in is orange. It's all NDP. That's the area that I'm in. So what does that tell you? But I go out and I superficially interact with people because that's what people want. They want the superficialness, the superficiality. I can give them that without draining my energy. I can do that. I can engage in pleasantries and talk about the weather. It's all good. I come and I discuss spiritual stuff and the things that matter on here or on my spiritual YouTube channel or in my Patreon. That's where the growth, that's where you grow, right? You know, like, don't waste your energy on things that are just a waste of energy. Like, you know how much hard it is to focus your energy? And like, I meditate every day and it's just lovely, that connection and to enhance your energy and to have it and not feel depleted and to be able to do things, um, like creating your own reality, which requires energy. So yeah, and I don't want my vibration to dip down to the level of rubbish, you know, which I was living in, I think, for the majority of my life. So yeah. Oh, oh my gosh, who's this? $50. Oh my goodness me, thank you. Who is that? KFH. I'm grateful. KFH, honey, thank you very much. Yes, I'm subscribed. Plus, I just found your other channel, The Arabian Oracle. I'm going through my awakening process for a while. That's amazing, KFH. Honey, listen, first of all, I'm very grateful for your donation. That means a lot. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your energy. Um, I'm gonna cry. Thank you, KFH. I have, if you want to discuss your awakening with me, honey, I have a Patreon attached to my Arabian Oracle. I have three tiers. There's one $5 tier, one 25, and one 50. I hope you consider joining me there. I'd love to have more people that are going through their own awakening. It it can be very lonely. Thank you. To be fair, you have a lot to be angry about. I had a lot to be angry about. I had a lot. But anger is toxic. I mean, you see the people that hate Trump. You see the people that hate anybody. You see the people that hate, thank you, honey, the cool glasses and the thumbs up. Thank you. Um, yeah, the hate and anger are not pretty qualities. They make you ugly. They really do make the person. You can be the most beautiful woman or the most handsome man, and I mean, look at Trudeau. Do you see anything handsome anymore in him? When he began, I used to think he was good looking. Now, mind you, I don't hate him, but I don't see the beauty in him anymore. And it's the same with a lot of, what's her name? Alyssa Milano. I used to love her, Alyssa Milano. I used to think she's gorgeous. But she's not gorgeous because she's horrible inside. Horrible. And Yeah. So hatred, I don't even know what to tell you. Like anger, fear, and hatred are energies that keep you very stuck in very low vibration. And I like to vibrate high now that I've had a taste of high vibe and how you connect with spirits or the universe or your soul and the messages that I get and the communication that I receive and the downloads and all of that. I never would, I can't get that when I get ill, when I get sick and my energy dips and my vibration goes down, I lose my communication with the universe and with my higher guides. When I start feeling better and my vibration rises again, I gain that communication back. So, piece of advice from me, why is this one? They're hiding comments. They're hiding comments. Why? I'm not hiding comments, guys. It's YouTube. YouTube is hiding comments. But what was I saying? Yeah, she is pretty on the outside, but ugly. She's horrific. Oh my god. I saw something, a picture of her today, Alyssa Milano, wearing a face mask made out of crochet. Come on. Crocheted face mask? A knitted face mask? For real. What kind of. What is that? I think this is. We've reached a point of silliness, you know? It's not a fashion show. This reminds me of the hijab in my part of the world. They brought it here into the West as a fashion show. You know, they put them on the cover of fashion magazines, these women in hijabs and burqas and burkinis. And I'm like, how can you take a tool of oppression and turn it into a fashion? And then I see Alyssa Milano in a knitted face mask. I'm like, can you imagine walking into the operating room with a knitted, crocheted face mask? What a joke. What a joke. What? Good to see you on here again. I always seem to share your perspective, so it's nice having a voice to resonate her. You're welcome, honey. And I don't know, Jay Her, if you know that I have a spiritual channel called the Arabian face diapers. Yes, they are a symbol of fear. It's interesting, this face mask situation. It really is very interesting. It I used to hate it, but now I see it and I'm like, okay, I know now where not to go. I know now who not to talk to. Not that I'm being judgmental, but like I said, I choose to preserve my energy now. If you're going to show me who you are by putting a face mask on, good. All the better. In many ways, COVID is a blessing because it showed you. COVID was like the veil that lifted off of society, and suddenly you all the ugliness has been exposed. You know, that's the way I see it. I don't necessarily. It's a symbol of fear, yes, and compliance, KFH, yes, and lack of just lack of, I don't know, lack of consciousness, lack of consciousness. The people that got angry at me in the beginning of COVID because I refused the mask, I didn't escape Saudi Arabia where I was forced to cover my face to come to Canada and get forced to cover my face. I don't know why this is hard for people to understand. My stance has not changed. I will not cover my face against my will. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You convinced me to cover my face, I will. And I used to in the operating room because it made sense. It made sense. But behind where I was doing anesthesia, once we were outside of the area where the wound is, we would take our masks off and sit down. So yeah, I'm not going to. When you put yourself between someone and their own consciousness, that's a problem. And religion falls under that. You don't force people to leave a religion or to convert to a religion because it's a matter of consciousness. as is what you put in your body, as is what you put on your body, as is covering your face. It's a matter of consciousness, it's a matter of belief. And discriminating against people here in Canada, it seems like they only think discrimination happens if based on race and gender, and religion. No, discrimination happens based on belief, belief. Not wanting to get vaccinated is your own belief system. It's your own decision. It's your own moral compass. It's your own consciousness. Not wanting to cover your face, it's your consciousness. It's something you believe in. No one has the right to insert themselves between you and your consciousness. Nobody has that right. But we are in a very, very confused period of time in human history, which is why the voices of people like me matter, regardless how small. Yeah, I mean, how? What? How to treat people? Yeah, yeah. Arabian princess. Even in Iran, they had enough of hijab. They want freedom. It's funny when when I was when the mask mandates came out and I started having issues with them. The main manager, I guess, of my this YouTube channel started. He really had a lot of issues with me comparing the face mask to the face veil. And when I asked why can't you see it? He said to me, because it's not enforced on women. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter enforced on women or not. That you're talking about a part. I mean, COVID has become an ideology at this point. You have people in Canada, in various aspects of Canada, that are forcing children into face masks. At some point, 20 to 40 to 50 years down the road, people won't remember how this ideology started, how this all began. But the culture of wearing your face mask, which is what it's become now, it's become a culture. I don't see any reasoning for anyone to cover their face right now. But you go out in my area, 80%, actually, no, it's 90% now. 90% of the people have their face covered. Man, woman, child, it doesn't matter. So at some point when COVID dies and we die and this is all gone, the history will maintain. The culture of covering your face will remain. Islam began as a brutal ideology by a crazy man, focused on women. It was just focused on women. Right now, it seems to be focused on both. But it's still a crazy ideology. It's still interfering with your consciousness, and it's being propagated by unconscious human beings. We are in a time period where we have the opportunity to wake people up, to raise the level of consciousness, and to not allow another garbage ideology or cultural norm to pass down from generation to generation based on fear. This is based on fear. It's based on nothing else but fear. Everyone who tells you science stands behind this, this hook that they're using, that this is science, science is based on ethics. Forcing people to cover their face is unethical. It's that simple. You can't do a scientific study through force. You can't. And we've bypassed that. That was the whole COVID agenda, is to bypass and skip the aspect of ethics in the West. Morals. This was civility. This was the main thing that separated your part of the world from mine. You were ethical, you were civil, you had more morals than us. Then came COVID. Then came COVID. Now you believe in dogma. In my part of the world, women are forced to cover their face because men fear that an uncovered face of a woman will sexually entice them to a point that they might rape her. The face covering that is forced on one gender in my part of the world is based on fear. One gender is afraid of the other. And this resulted in the oppression of an entire gender and misogyny. COVID is an ideology based on fear. One group of people is afraid of the other. As such, the other group are being oppressed. However way, vaccines, not vaccines, I don't know. Forced faced segregation in society. It's the same tactics. Same tactics. Who was it? Who was it? There was a famous actress, and I believe she actually appeared on with Alyssa Milano in that show, whatever that show was called that made Alyssa Milano famous. Do you guys remember the name of that show? But anyway, that actress came on during early on during the pandemic, and she said people she had escaped a cult. This is a part of her history that was not very well known. She doesn't talk about it a lot, but she went on and said that she had escaped a cult. And the people like her, just like me, we escaped an ideology that was brutal. I mean, in many ways, it was a cult. We have, if you want to think of it this way, if it can help you understand, we have special powers. We can identify another cult. Whereas if you weren't exposed to the same dogmatic arguments that I lived under, which are very similar to the forced mask, to the COVID argumentation, which is always based in fear and fear and hate. You see right through it. It doesn't matter what the cause is. They can mask it as a virus. They can mask it as a chemical attack. They can mask it as climate change. They can mask it as religion. It doesn't matter what the mask that it is being shown to you is. It doesn't matter what the plate that the agenda is being presented on is. You know now the flavors of this plate. You can immediately smell it. You can immediately, and it turns your stomach, and you know. That's the point I was trying to get at with the face masks, but nobody could see it. That was the show. Who's the boss? Who's the boss? Was that it? Who's the boss? I can't remember. Was that the name? Alyssa Milano? There was another show where she was with like three girls and they lived in an apartment. And witches? No, not witches. I can't remember. I left Christianity and it helps me see the manipulation. Charmed! T.Z. Burton. There you go, honey buns. That's it. Charmed. Charmed. The red-headed girl that came later on that series. She was brought up in a cult. And she went on the news. I can't remember which news now. But she did go on the news and she warned people. She said, I have special powers because I lived under a cult and I can see things that regular people can't see. And she started warning people. Now she has a bigger platform than me and they called her crazy, right? So that was her first show when she was a kid. Oh, look at her now with her crocheted face mask. Yeah. Look at her now. Well, it's been over an hour that I've been here chit-chatting with you. And that, thank you. Thank you for everything, guys. I guess nobody wanted to do any tarot readings or oracle readings. That's fine. I bought a new tarot deck today and a new oracle deck that I'm going to cleanse and clear. And I'm going to play with, and I'm going to probably do a reading in my Patreon and do another reading in my Arabian Oracle YouTube channel. I am very happy, along with Tony. Yes, oh my God, yes. That's right. I'm very thankful for everyone who showed up for this live today. When do you think I'm going to try to aim, like, should I do midweek and then end of the like a weekend live stream? Would that work for you guys? Like Wednesday, Sunday? If I was going to do twice a week, or would you guys rather once a week? I think if all humans followed a few words from the world, Jesus was. It's funny because yeah, I tweeted the other day something about Jesus and Trump. Sometimes I like reading. I'll do an oracle reading, although I don't know how over the internet. Oh, it's super easy. It's super easy. Head over to my. Are you on my spiritual YouTube? Ask a question. I'll do a quick reading for you. Super Ginwai. What is something you want to know, hun? Sunday? Okay, let's do it on Sundays. Let's do it on Sundays. I'll do Wednesday and Sunday. And next time we'll do a tarot reading and an oracle reading. Come to the channel with something that you want to know about, that you want to inquire about. Yeah, but I tweeted about Jesus and Trump, the only other figure in history that I know of that was hated in the West to the level that Trump is being dumped on. It was Jesus. And I believe that Trump carries the light. I do believe that he has consciousness in him, as did Jesus. I don't think Jesus was a prophet. I think Jesus was spiritually enlightened. That's all. And people do not like those who are spiritually enlightened. Luckily enough, I live in a time period where we're not crucifying each other. So I can come on here and talk about spirituality and consciousness. But in the time period of Jesus, his light was so strong that, and the establishment hated him, right? It's no different than the establishment and Trump. So they ended him. They ended his life, just like they ended Trump in many ways. And thankfully Trump is still alive, but you see the hatred. You see, hatred is a virus. Hatred is a virus. Anyone who openly wears hatred and shows you their hatred and presents the hatred within them to you is not something you want to be around. That is not an energy that you want to be around. That is a horrible energy. It is very low vibration. Yeah. I like Trump. He's not perfect. Now he has company with Musk. Yeah. What is your spiritual channel? Arabian Oracle. The Arabian Oracle. Let me write it down for you, honey. Here. Just YouTube it. The Arabian Oracle. And if you go to that channel, there is a Patreon attached to it with 3 different tiers with 3 different prices depending. Some people can't afford $50. Some people can only afford 5. Some people are fine with $50. But if you go in and subscribe, there's a lot more content. I actually put my downloads that I get in there. And I get a lot of downloads. And I have some oracle readings, some tarot readings, and I can do a private reading through Zoom with you as well, where I read your energy and I can tell you your patterns and where you're stuck, if you're stuck anywhere in life. All right, guys, hatred is self-destructive, very, very. A person, yeah, just be aware of those that openly hate and are okay with openly hating. Not something you want. Not something you want. All right, my babies. I love you. I love you very much. I'd sit around here a lot more longer with you. But let's keep the suspense going. Thank you for everyone who donated. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your love. Thank you for showing up. And just thank you. And I can't wait to see you again. Keep an eye. I'll try to put another announcement before I do another live. I love you. Bye.